There's a moment when someone is sitting at their kitchen table in the early morning, phone face down, coffee going cold, and their mind is already 3 hours ahead. The body is in the chair, but inside there is a quiet storm. Planning, worrying, replaying yesterday's mistakes, rehearsing future conversations. The chest feels tight, the neck is stiff, and the breath is shallow, like the body is bracing for impact. From the outside, it looks like a calm, ordinary start to the day. Inside, it feels like a browser with 20 tabs open, all loading at once. Somewhere, a notification pings. The heart jumps even before the eyes move. The thought appears, I can't do this day like this again. There's a subtle, almost desperate wish for the mind to just be still for 1 minute. Not forever. Just long enough to feel like a real person in a real body, instead of a head that never stops running. It happens quietly, at a red light, in a meeting, lying in bed with the light off. The body is present, but awareness is stuck in loops. A memory from years ago suddenly appears and brings a wave of shame. An imagined future failure plays like a movie. The nervous system feels like it's always slightly on fire. The idea of meditation crosses the mind sometimes. Someone mentioned an app, a friend swears it changed their life. But there's also a belief, my mind is too busy for that. I could never do it. Still, there's this ache for something different. Not a drastic life change, just a way for the brain to not feel like it's attacking itself all day. That restless brain doesn't stay in one place. It shows up everywhere. In romantic relationships, someone is sitting across from their partner at dinner, nodding and smiling, but internally they're replaying a conflict from last week. The partner is talking about their day, but the mind is running its own script. Did I sound stupid in that meeting? What if I messed everything up? The body is at the table, but attention is somewhere else. When the partner asks, "Are you here with me?" There's a flash of guilt. Outside they say, "Yeah, just tired." Inside they think, "Why can't I just be present with this person I love?" At work, it looks productive from the outside. Someone is always busy, always responsive, always ahead on deadlines. But inside, their brain is constantly scanning for threats. What if I get this wrong? What if they realize I don't know enough? Every email triggers a spike of adrenaline. Every message makes their stomach clench. They answer quickly, almost automatically, just to make the anxiety drop a little. There's no real pause between stimulus and response, just reaction all day long. Coworkers might see them as high-functioning. Inside, it feels more like surviving than working. In family life, the same overactive brain can show up as irritability or shutdown. Someone comes home from a long day, their mind still buzzing with unresolved to-do lists and imagined problems. A child runs up excited, talking fast about their day. Another family member asks a simple question like, "What's for dinner?" It feels like too much. The brain, already overloaded, interprets these neutral moments as pressure. The response comes out sharper than intended. "Can you just give me a minute?" Later, there's regret and self-criticism. Why am I like this? Why can't I just be patient? Then there's the alone time, which isn't really restful either. Lying in bed, lights off, the body craving sleep, but the mind suddenly wakes up. Thoughts race from one topic to another. The inner voice is loud. You should have handled that differently. You're falling behind. You need to get your life together. The body feels tired and heavy, but the brain is wired. Someone might grab their phone to escape their own thoughts, scrolling until their eyes hurt. The next day they're exhausted, promising themselves they'll go to bed earlier. Then the cycle repeats. Many people grow up in environments that train their brains to be on high alert. A girl learns early that if she doesn't anticipate other people's moods, there will be conflict. So she starts scanning faces, tones of voice, tiny shifts in energy. Her brain becomes very good at predicting and preventing problems. As an adult, she can walk into a room and immediately sense tension. Her sensitivity helps in some ways. She's intuitive, empathic, but inside she rarely feels safe enough to fully relax. Her nervous system doesn't really know off. A boy is told directly or indirectly that worth comes from performance. Maybe his parents praise him mainly for grades, achievements, being the responsible one. Maybe there isn't much room for just being, for making mistakes, for slowing down. So he begins to measure himself constantly. Am I doing enough? Did I do this right? His brain becomes a scoreboard. As an adult, any pause, any stillness feels like falling behind. The idea of sitting quietly and doing nothing feels pointless, even threatening. A teenager discovers that feelings are overwhelming and unpredictable. Maybe their home is chaotic. Maybe conflict appears out of nowhere. Maybe big emotions are met with punishment or withdrawal. They begin to cope by disconnecting from their body, from their inner world. They live mostly in their head, watching themselves like a character rather than feeling things fully. Over time, this becomes normal. The mind stays busy as a way to avoid sensations in the body that feel too intense. These early patterns shape what later becomes our baseline. For many adults, normal is a brain that is either racing, numbing, or attacking itself. The idea that the brain could be trained to relate differently to thoughts, emotions, and discomfort doesn't even seem real. It sounds like a nice theory, but not for someone like me. This is where meditation comes in, not as a costume or a trend, but as a practical way of changing how the brain functions over time. In plain language, the brain can rewire itself based on what we repeat. When you rehearse the same thoughts and reactions every day, your brain strengthens those pathways. When you practice something different, even a few minutes at a time, you start to build new ones. Meditation, in simple terms, is the practice of gently training your attention. It's not about stopping thoughts or becoming perfectly calm. It's about learning to notice what your mind is doing without immediately believing or obeying every thought. The thoughts still come. The waves are still there. This kind of practice can change how stress and emotion move through your system. The parts of your brain involved in reacting to threat learn to calm down more easily. The parts involved in awareness, empathy, and regulation become more accessible. You don't need to know the scientific names to feel the difference. You just start noticing that the gap between stimulus and response gets a little wider. You have more space to choose instead of react. In a workplace conflict, that might look like this. You're in a meeting and someone criticizes your idea in a blunt way. Before any practice, your brain jumps to, I'm stupid, or they're against me. Your heart rate spikes, your throat tightens, and you either shut down or lash out. Later, you replay the moment and feel ashamed or angry. After some consistent meditation, the same situation happens. You still feel the surge. Your heart speeds up, your face gets warm. But now there's a tiny bit more awareness. You notice, oh, here's that rush again. You hear the thought, I'm an idiot, but instead of merging with it, you see it as a thought passing through. You might take one slow breath. That small pause gives your brain time to access another option. That stung, but maybe I can ask a question instead of shutting down. In romantic relationships, meditation can soften the grip of old defensive patterns. A partner says, you never listen to me, in a frustrated tone. Before, that lands as a personal attack. Your brain pulls up every time you felt blamed or misunderstood. You snap back, I'm always listening, you're just never satisfied. Underneath is fear of being seen as a bad partner, of not being enough. But in the moment, it comes out as anger. With a regular meditation practice, when that sentence lands, you still feel the sting. You still feel the urge to defend, but you're more likely to notice the physical cues, the tightening in your chest, the urge to talk over them. You might say, I'm feeling defensive right now. I want to hear you. Can we slow down? That small shift comes from training your brain to notice what's happening in the present, not just in old stories. In family dynamics, especially in old roles, meditation can help you stay more anchored in your current self instead of slipping back into who you were as a child. You go home, someone makes a familiar critical comment, and your body wants to react in the same old way, shutting down, exploding, or performing. Over time, the practice of observing your inner experience with kindness makes it easier to see. This is that old pattern. I feel small right now, but I'm not that teenager anymore. That awareness doesn't erase the pain, but it gives you more choice. Meditation also changes your inner dialogue. Instead of a constant stream of harsh self-criticism, you begin to have more moments of simple noticing. There's the thought that I'm failing. There's the feeling of heaviness in my chest. That shift from I am this to I notice this is a real change in how your brain is operating. You are strengthening circuits of self-observation and weakening the absolute control of old thought patterns. The cost of not working with your mind at this level is often quiet but heavy. Exhaustion that sleep doesn't fix. Anxiety that comes out of nowhere. A sense of always being slightly behind, even when you're objectively doing fine. Feeling disconnected from your own life, like you're moving through it but not really in it. Meditation doesn't erase these experiences, but it gives you tools to relate to them differently, and over time, that changes their intensity and frequency. Meditation is often sold as a way to calm down, but the uncomfortable parts are valuable information. Restlessness isn't just a problem, it's a sign that your system is used to constant stimulation. When you sit and feel like you want to jump out of your skin after 2 minutes, that discomfort is showing you how much your brain has been running on overdrive. The goal isn't to crush that feeling, it's to learn from it. Sleepiness in meditation can signal how exhausted your system really is. When you finally stop, your brain shuts down as if it's been holding itself upright for too long. Instead of judging yourself, I can't even meditate without falling asleep. You can see it as feedback. My body is begging for rest. Racing thoughts during meditation aren't proof that you're bad at it. They're simply your brain revealing its current habits. Seeing how quickly your mind jumps from one topic to another can help you understand why you feel scattered in daily life. The practice becomes, can you watch this storm without trying to control the weather? Even uncomfortable emotions like sadness, anger, or fear often surface more clearly when you start meditating. That can feel like a step backward, but in reality, it's your system finally having enough safety to let things rise to the surface. Those emotions were already there. You were just too distracted to feel them. Now, instead of being driven by them unconsciously, you can meet them directly. So rather than viewing meditation as a way to fix yourself or get rid of unpleasant experiences, it can be seen as a way to integrate them. You're learning to make room for your whole inner world instead of fighting parts of it. Everyone who practices seriously meets their own versions of boredom, resistance, fear, and grief. No one does it perfectly. The struggle is part of the training. Here are some concrete ways to work with how meditation changes your brain in daily life. Notice your mental triggers. This practice helps you see where your brain goes on autopilot. The idea is to catch the moments when your reaction is much bigger than the situation. That's where old wiring is most active. Throughout the week, whenever you feel a sudden spike of emotion, irritation, shame, panic, pause if you can. Ask yourself, what just happened in my mind? Maybe someone didn't text back and your brain went to, they don't care about me. Maybe your manager frowned and your brain translated it as I'm failing. Write down or mentally note the thought that appeared right before your emotional reaction. For example, imagine you send a message to a friend and they don't respond for hours. Your chest tightens. Thoughts speed up. Did I say something wrong? Are they done with me? The trigger wasn't just the delayed reply, it was the story your brain told about it. Noticing this gives you a chance later, in meditation, to gently observe that pattern. Micro meditations. During the day, this practice trains your brain in small doses instead of only in long formal sessions. It shows your nervous system that pausing is safe. Pick a few built-in moments in your day. A red light, waiting for a video to load, standing in line. In those moments, instead of grabbing your phone or jumping into a thought loop, do a 30-second check-in. Feel your feet on the ground. Notice your breath moving in and out. Name 3 sensations in your body. Warm hands, tight jaw, cool air on my face. Someone is waiting for a file to download at work. Normally, they would click to another tab and distract themselves. Instead, they rest their hands in their lap and feel one full inhale and exhale. They notice their shoulders are up near their ears and gently let them drop. That's it. 30 seconds. Over time, these tiny pauses train the brain that it does not have to be on every second. Sit with yourself for 5 minutes. This is a simple foundational meditation practice. It helps your brain learn that sitting still with your own experience is survivable. Once a day, if possible, set a timer for 5 minutes. Sit in a comfortable position, on a chair, couch, or cushion. You don't need a special posture. Close your eyes or lower your gaze. Bring your attention to your breath, how it feels in your chest, your belly, or your nostrils. When your mind wanders, and it will, gently notice where it went, planning, worrying, remembering, and then guide it back to the breath. No drama, just wandering and back. Imagine someone does this at the end of their workday. The first few times they feel like a failure. Their mind jumps to grocery lists, old arguments, random songs. They think, I can't do this. But they keep the deal with themselves. Stay seated until the timer ends. After a week, they notice that catching themselves wandering and returning is becoming slightly easier. That is the brain changing, one small rep at a time. Write what your mind did. This practice links meditation to journaling and helps you see your brain's habits clearly. After a short meditation session, even just 5 minutes, take a minute or two to write down what you noticed your mind doing. You might write, kept planning tomorrow, worried about money, thought about what my boss thinks of me, judged myself for not being calm. You're not analyzing deeply, just capturing patterns. After a week of doing this, someone looks back and realizes, almost every time I sit, my mind jumps to, I'm not doing enough, and imagines people being disappointed in me. Seeing this in black and white helps them understand why they feel so anxious around others. It also gives them a specific theme to watch in meditation. A weekly mindful no. This practice connects brain training to boundaries. It rewires the fear that saying no equals danger. Once a week, choose one small situation where you would usually say yes out of habit, guilt, or fear, even though you don't actually have the capacity or desire. It could be a casual invitation, an extra task at work, or a favor. Instead of your auto yes, you say a simple, respectful no. Then you use your meditation skills to sit with the discomfort afterward. Your coworker asks if you can stay late to help with their project, and you're already drained. Normally, you would say yes and resent it. This time you say, I can't tonight, I need to rest. Afterward, your brain might flood you with anxious thoughts. They'll think I'm selfish. You take 5 quiet minutes later that evening to feel the sensations those thoughts create. Tight chest, nervous stomach, and you breathe with them. You're teaching your brain that the discomfort of disappointing someone is survivable. One honest moment with someone. Meditation often makes you more aware of your inner world. This practice brings a small piece of that awareness into relationship. Once a day or a few times a week, aim for one interaction where you go one notch deeper than your usual script. Instead of saying I'm fine when you're not, you might say, I'm a bit overwhelmed today, but I'm managing. Instead of pretending you're not hurt, you might say, that comment stung a little. Imagine you're sitting with a friend and they ask, how are you? Your auto response is, all good. You notice that urge, take a breath, and say, honestly, I've been really anxious lately. I've started trying a 5-minute meditation, and I'm noticing how busy my mind is. The friend might respond with curiosity or even share their own struggles. That small moment of honesty gives your brain evidence that being a bit more real doesn't automatically lead to rejection. Imagine your younger mind. This practice uses imagination to connect your current meditation work with the younger parts of you that formed your original patterns. After a meditation session, close your eyes for a minute and picture yourself at an age when your brain first learned to be on guard, maybe 7, 12, or 16. See that younger you sitting somewhere familiar, a bedroom, a school hallway, a kitchen table. Imagine sitting next to them as your current self. Gently explain, in your own words, what you're doing now with meditation. I'm learning how to help our mind calm down. I'm learning how to notice thoughts without letting them hurt us as much. You did the best you could back then by being on alert all the time. I'm trying to give us another option now. You might picture placing a hand on their shoulder or just sitting quietly with them. Someone who learned as a child to scan for danger because of an unpredictable parent might see their younger self lying in bed, listening for footsteps in the hallway. They sit beside that child in their mind and say, "You had to be alert then." That's why our mind is so jumpy now. Thank you for keeping us safe. I'm working on teaching our brain that not every sound means threat anymore. This emotional understanding supports the cognitive changes meditation brings. Over time, with these kinds of practices, life doesn't become perfect or constantly peaceful. But it does begin to feel different in ways that matter. There is a little more space around your thoughts. A harsh inner voice that used to feel like the only truth becomes one voice among many. When anxiety rises, it's not immediately in control. There is a part of you that can watch it come and go. You might notice that your baseline tension slowly drops. Maybe you still get stressed at work, but you recover faster. Maybe you still argue in relationships, but you catch yourself sooner and repair more easily. The sense of being constantly at war with your own mind softens a bit. You have more moments of actually tasting your food, actually hearing your partner, actually feeling the water in the shower. Relationships can shift as well. Some people in your life may not understand why you're changing. If you used to react immediately and now you pause more, someone might say, "Why are you so quiet?" If you used to absorb everyone's emotions and now you have a bit more boundary, someone might feel unsettled. At the same time, other relationships may deepen as you bring more presence and less reactivity. New connections may form around shared values of awareness and growth. There's also usually less fear of being found out. When you spend more time observing your own mind with honesty, there is less to hide from yourself. The gap between the person you show the world and the person you are inside gets smaller. You become more comfortable with mixed feelings, with not knowing, with being a work in progress. That comfort is a kind of quiet strength. It's important to remember that meditation is not a one-time solution. It's more like brushing your teeth and fixing a broken bone. You don't meditate for a month and then never need it again. You practice, you drift, you return. Your brain is constantly shaped by what you do repeatedly. Meditation is one way of choosing, again and again, to shape it toward a little more clarity, compassion, and stability. If you go back to that opening scene, the person at the kitchen table, coffee going cold, mind racing, you can imagine it a bit differently now. Maybe they still wake up with worry some days. They still have responsibilities, problems, unknowns. But now they also have a 5-minute practice. Instead of going straight to the storm, they sit, feel their feet on the floor, and breathe. The thoughts still come, but there is also the awareness. Thinking, planning, worrying. The thoughts are no longer the only reality. They are events in a wider space. Meditation is not a cure for being human. It won't make you immune to pain, loss, or uncertainty. What it can do is change the relationship you have with your own mind, which changes how you move through all of those experiences. It can help your brain shift from constant defense to more curiosity, from automatic reaction to more conscious response, from living only in your head to living more fully in your life. If you choose to explore this, go gently. You don't have to become a monk or meditate for an hour a day. Start with the smallest possible step that you can actually keep. 1 mindful breath before you answer a message. 5 minutes sitting with yourself. 1 honest sentence to someone you trust. These are not dramatic overnight changes, but they are real, and over months and years, they can add up to a brain and a life that feels more like you're inhabiting it instead of being dragged through it. Thank you for staying with this to the end. If you'd like more videos that explore how practices like meditation shape your mind and emotional life, you can subscribe for more content here. And if you feel like sharing, what part of your own mind feels the busiest or hardest to be with right now? And what tiny practice are you curious to try with it?